Tonight on 7 News, zero COVID cases for the second day in a row. Growing hope Melbourne's restrictions will be eased even further in a week. Families given vouchers to encourage children to play sports again. Hero paramedics injured while trying to save a woman's life in the back of an ambulance. Anastasia Palaszczuk's landslide Queensland election win after her tough border strategy. Tributes for Sean Connery. The James Bond screen legend dies aged 90. And why AFL Premiership coach Dennis Pagan had a quiet night after his incredible derby win.
Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Mike Amor starts now.
Good evening. Melbourne has recorded no new COVID cases on the first weekend out of lockdown. The Chief Health Officer says we're moving to a place where we could see zero community transmission. It's giving hope there'll be even greater freedoms announced this time next week and eventually a relaxation on masks.
Enjoying freedoms in the Sunday spring sunshine in parks, skate parks and on the water. Even the Emergency Management Commissioner Andrew Crisp was smiling in the sunshine as Victoria achieved zero cases and zero deaths.
Another very good day for Victoria.
Melbourne's 14-day rolling average down again to 2.2 and our first day of no community transmission in Australia since June 9. Now Victoria has just 61 active cases.
I think we'll be down to a couple of dozen active cases by next week. So I think you'll see, 10 or more come off each day.
Further easing of restrictions won't come sooner than next weekend.
What allowances come on November 8 will absolutely be informed by what this week looks like, and so some of the details might change.
That might be new density limits and the addition of industries being allowed to reopen. Eventually, masks will go in most settings.
Clearly, if there's no transmission at all, masks are not a requirement.
I think we'll move to a more relaxed mask policy soon. We're already seeing people starting to wear them under their chins more than over their noses and mouths. So I think, it's probably getting close to the time where we should call that as the weather warms up.
And interstate travel appears imminent.
I think we'll progressively see those borders easing up.
We're now in line with New South Wales. Our 7-day daily average is down to 1.3, New South Wales 1.4. So that's a really good sign.
Some pubs remained closed today. Customer limits mean they'd lose money. But at cafes, hugs as families reunited.
This is the important part, the big hug, isn't it?
Street car spaces turned into dining spaces.
It's a great idea. They should do more.
At some, an innovation. Register your arrival, then order and pay from your table, all on your phone.
We're trying to reduce, the contact, between interaction between people.
There were queues to get into clothes shops and furniture shops. The people near the front said an hour 15.
Oh, we're not doing that. Oh, I don't queue like that.
It does appear to be more people around. And they're all spending more than they have done previously. So what we'd call bigger shopping baskets.
This is a precious place that we've gotten to. We need to hang on to it really tightly, but we should also indulge a little bit in the sunshine when it's out and in the outdoors and in seeing people. It's a really good vibe at the moment.
Some venues are becoming increasingly creative and playful to attract customers and stand out. Here at the Cornerstone Hotel in Port Melbourne, their new outdoor dining area on the street is a swingers bar, and that's because their regular seats have been replaced with playground swings. And the owners here believe it's the only place in Australia doing something like this. The kids love it, the grown-ups love it. The only problem, Mike, is that after a few beers it might be quite a balancing act.
Yes, it could be, Paul. Thank you. Most Victorians are unlikely to be vaccinated against COVID-19 until the end of next year if a vaccine is approved. Health workers and the elderly will be the first in line, followed by the rest of the population. Australia has already bought vaccines from the Oxford and Queensland University trials.
The results from both of those have actually been positive, more positive than we had expected.
The government is finalising contracts with 2 other vaccine developers. 100,000 children will soon receive vouchers to pay for sport uniforms, equipment and membership fees. The scheme is designed to encourage more kids to play community and school sport, making up for months of being cooped up at home.
together at the track for the first time since March.
It's amazing. I've missed it so much. It's been, I think, 7 months. I'm really excited to see my friends at the track also.
An opportunity for our families to get back into community sport following the pandemic. Great for our families to get back into some kind of routine that our kids have desperately missed.
Today, the state government unveiled a new $45.2 million program to be rolled out from early next year. Half of that money will go to parents in the form of $200 vouchers to help families cover the cost of sports equipment, uniforms and memberships.
Anything that can help get kids back into community sport, I think that's really a great thing.
For their physical health, for their mental health, for the mental health of their parents, we need kids back out and about.
The remaining $24 million will go to schools to fund new supplies, athletic programs and recruit specialist PE staff.
We don't want cost to be a barrier to getting kids back and active.
The unanswered question is when indoor sports will be back on the agenda. At this stage, there is no set date, but the Chief Health Officer is confident it will happen this year.
If there are weeks of zero, then there's no question that indoor sport will come back, not just for kids but for adults as well.
Other states have funded kids' sports vouchers for years. Already, local clubs are calling for Victoria to invest in the program permanently.
It's so nice to be on the track again. I've missed it.
Christy Mayer, 7 News.
A stolen car has slammed into an ambulance, leaving paramedics trapped and injured in Melbourne's southeast. But even after the crash, they continue to fight to save the life of the patient they'd been taking to hospital.
A life-saving dash to hospital ends in a life-threatening crash. The ambulance, with a heart attack victim inside, was struck by a speeding stolen car in Seaford.
It sounded like an explosion, like a bomb going off. By the time I got outside, there was people yelling and screaming everywhere.
The driver of the Toyota tried to run off, but locals made a citizen's arrest before police arrived.
I basically had to jump the fence and pin him to the ground because he jumped out of the car and tried to run off.
The paramedics who were inside the wreckage have been praised for putting the patient's life before theirs.
The paramedics were actually in the process of treating a post-cardiac arrest patient when the accident occurred. And by all accounts, their efforts to continue to work on the patient after the accident were incredible.
One even continued on, despite being pinned against a stretcher and the door.
The Micah paramedic was actually still trapped while she was ventilating the patient, so it's just remarkable care that they showed for their patient.
The driver of the stolen car was seen driving erratically and on the wrong side of the road of the busy Nepean Highway just moments before the high-speed crash.
Paramedics work in what we call an uncontrolled environment, so you can never predict what's going to happen. This is the second serious accident involving an ambulance this week.
The 32-year-old man was taken to the Alfred Hospital in a serious but stable condition and tonight remains under police guard. And Mike, the heart attack victim, also remains here at the Alfred Hospital in a critical condition. The woman, aged in her 60s, was originally taken to a local hospital in Frankston, but sadly her condition became worse and she was rushed here in the early hours of this morning. As for the driver, well, he will be interviewed by police later tonight and charges are also expected. Mike.
Cassie Zervos, thank you. A suspect in a deadly Carlton street fight has handed himself into police. 56-year-old Anthony Wilson was charged with murder. He's accused of delivering fatal blows to Amara Lansara during a brawl between several men on Friday morning. The victim died in hospital. Wilson has been remanded in custody until January. Queensland's Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk is under pressure to open up her borders to all Australians after her thumping win in the state election. The Labor leader claimed an even bigger victory than predicted as voters deserted One Nation.
The first female Premier to win 3 elections. Anastasia Palaszczuk makes history in Queensland.
Is the best place on earth, and it is the best state in Australia.
Securing a 5% swing to Labor, she increased her government's majority, winning over regional electorates with her tough position on border closures.
We stood strong, Queensland. We stood together. We stared down our critics.
One of those critics, Pauline Hanson, whose One Nation party collapsed statewide. Voters approved of Anastasia Palaszczuk's leadership. Deb Frecklington's is now in doubt.
I will continue as the leader
of this great party.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison congratulated the Premier via text this morning, and while it may not have been the result he had hoped, he'd be pleased that it once again proves an unwillingness to change leaders during a crisis. And despite the mandate to keep things as they are, the federal government once again called for the Premier to lift the border closure.
Things are improving and there's real and genuine hope for a sustained and open Australia.
Back to work this morning, Anastasia Palaszczuk pointed to a December reopening.
People have lost their jobs and now's the time to get back to work.
Just in time for Christmas holidays. Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
US President Donald Trump is warning there will be chaos across America if there's no clear winner on election night. Both campaigns are picking up the pace ahead of this week's vote as Barack Obama joined Joe Biden in a crucial swing state.
My friend, the next president of the United States of America, Joe Biden!
America's election marathon is now a sprint. 3 days out, Joe Biden's boss in the White House for 8 years campaigns with him in Michigan.
Guess what, Mr. President? I'm coming for you.
Did you see Biden and Obama before? They make you think Hong Kong. And actually, most of them are our supporters trying to cause a little havoc.
The president raced between 4 rallies in Key State, Pennsylvania, as Obama mocked Trump's concern with crowd size.
What kind of trauma did he go through? Did no one come to his birthday parties when he was a kid?
He campaigned for Hillary. How did that work out?
But rising with the president's campaign crescendo, COVID numbers. Just under 100,000 new cases yesterday, America's most infectious day of the pandemic.
Some of the places he's holding rallies have seen new spikes after he leaves town.
All up, more than 90 million voters have cast their ballot early. Keen to vote, but Americans are also nervous about what lies beyond Tuesday. The president himself is playing up the prospect of unrest.
November 3rd is going to come and go, and we're not going to know, and you're going to have bedlam in our country.
The Democrats still hope for an outcome as clear as this. In Detroit, Michigan, Tim Lester, 7 News.
2 teenagers have been killed and a third is in hospital after smashing a stolen Commodore into a pole in Sydney. But in a twist, the man they're accused of stealing the car from has been charged for jumping in a different vehicle and chasing them.
I woke up to what sounded like a lightning strike, which what I thought was at the time.
One emergency worker told 7 News it was the worst crash they'd ever seen. Sean Connery, the original and many say the best James Bond, has died at the age of 90. The Scotsman set the benchmark for the 007 role, but he never let it define him, winning an Oscar in a career that spanned more than half a century.
The world was introduced to Sean Connery in 1962 as
Bond. James Bond.
The first 007, and to many the most memorable.
What are you doing here? Looking for shells?
No, I'm just looking.
A suave Scot who played Bond in 7 films.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Creating a legend of the screen.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Born in Edinburgh, he left school at 13, was scouted by a casting director when competing in a bodybuilding competition, and propelled to international stardom. Mixing with royalty, he quickly became the biggest name in British cinema. He won an Oscar for his role in The Untouchables.
He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue.
Acclaim as Indiana Jones's father.
It is you, Junior.
Proud of his Scottish heritage, he campaigned for Scotland's independence and was knighted by the Queen in 2000.
Looking back over all of your work, what are you most proud of?
The longevity, maybe. The continuance.
Daniel Craig called him one of the true greats of cinema. The wit and charm he portrayed on screen could be measured in megawatts. He helped create the modern blockbuster.
For me, Sean Connery defined the role.
The Bond franchise producers said he revolutionised the world with his gritty and witty portrayal of the sexy and charismatic secret agent. He is undoubtedly largely responsible for the success of the film series. His marriage to Australian Diane Salento lasted 11 years before they divorced. He retired to a gated community in the Bahamas with his wife Micheline. They were together 45 years. He spent much of his retirement playing golf. Sir Sean Connery died there in his sleep, his family saying he'd been unwell for some time. To many, though, he was the original on-screen secret agent.
Hi, I'm Plenty.
But of course you are.
In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Yeah, he was the best. Former AFL coach turned Derby-winning horse trainer Dennis Pagan is soaking up his incredible career double. 24 hours on, the two-time premiership coach, once known as a hard man, is showing his softer side after his life-changing triumph.
After training horses for less than 6 months, the two-time premiership coach has conquered a new Pagan's paddock.
You can't believe it's happened. Got to pinch yourself.
Famously hot-headed, Dennis Pagan was speechless after Johnny Get Angry won yesterday's $2 million Victoria Derby.
It's lost for words.
Today, he could only laugh about his emotions getting the better of him.
I could imagine what they would have thought last night because they were all terrified of me and they saw me like a little sookie bubba yesterday.
Even wife Cheryl couldn't believe her husband's reaction.
I was very surprised. Very surprised. He's usually very measured.
The 73-year-old owns Johnny Get Angry outright, but last night's celebrations were very low-key.
It was a quiet night actually. I had a big luncheon on Friday and very dusty Saturday morning, and I just wanted to get home.
Pagan was offered $1 million to sell the horse, which he bought for $50,000 and before yesterday had never won a race.
I'm glad I stuck with Johnny because he stuck with me.
The fairy tale win made even sweeter. Pagan kept young apprentice jockey Lockie King on board rather than dumping him for a more experienced rider.
I've had a lot of practice with young sports people. If you believe in them and stick to them, they repay you in bucket loads.
The son of former jockey Stephen King, now a Group 1 winner like his father.
Once I got home, we just all had a big cuddle, me, mum and dad, and just sat down and just took it in.
Jacqueline Felgate, 7 News.
Big family cuddle. I love it. Jackie Felgate joins us now. And Jack, the Saints are a step closer to snagging a star crow looking to fly the nest.
Yes, that's right, Mike. St Kilda has lodged the paperwork for Brad Crouch, but it's far from a done deal. We'll have all the details. Plus, why a Blue Star recruit is unfazed by the pressure of a giant contract. Victorians Will Pukowski and Marcus Harris rewrite the record books, and why the European Raiders are striking fear into the Melbourne Cup. Plenty of sport coming up, Mike.
See you then. Thanks, Jack. A random cowardly attack has left a man with a fractured skull. Jodie Lee has details.
Mike, he was bashed from behind as he walked along here in the middle of the afternoon.
Plus, why England has been forced back into a second lockdown. A backyard shock for a 90-year-old woman sitting inside her home. And the new campaign helping Victorians get through the toughest year of their lives.
Not one woman has got across this. So today I want to make it that day.
Be the first. Be the first.
Do not let go of that rope. Get up there! We haven't even started yet!
Freezing cold water, you go into a state of shock.
And stay there!
Because your body thinks it's going to die.
This is the course of finding out how resilient you are.
Absolutely shredded my nuts.
How much grit and determination they really have.
SAS Australia, Monday 7:30 on 7.
I feel like going back home.
This Christmas, let's value our hosts. The ones who guard the family recipes. They're the perfectionists who know how to add that finishing touch. We love them for their yarns and the way they set a table. They're the ice carriers, happy to shoulder the load. And they'll always find room for one more guest. They'll clean the table quickly and do it all again, so we can enjoy Christmas the Australian way. Coles. Value the Australian way.
Let's do it, baby.
It's on, mate.
This Melbourne Cup, if your horse runs second, third or even fourth in races 1 to 5 at Flemington and the Melbourne Cup, get your money back in bonus. PointsBet.
Duck Fresh Discs, now exploding with fragrance.
Well, it does smell quite nice. With new odour-neutralising technology, it fights stains and freshens flush after flush. Look, it's not rocket science, it's duck science.
SC Johnson.
Sam is fearless at studying tiger sharks. Just don't ask him to fix a leaking tap. It's amazing what you can't do. Task smarter.
Airtasker. The secret to gifting will give you a clue. It has to be thoughtful, not, oh, that'll do. Secret Santa novelties needn't be the go-to. With sparkles like these, you'll want to say it's from you. It truly is the thought that counts. Michael Hill.
U-Foods are Australia's favourite food delivery service. Have fresh, healthy meals delivered to your door. Enjoy our convenient 2-minute heat and eat meals. Order now, 6 meals for $49. U-Foods, it's healthy eating made easy.
Tasty, affordable and delicious. What's for dinner in the next break with Coles?
Police are hunting a coward punch attacker involved in a brutal daylight assault at Birrarungma. Jody Lee is there, and Jody, the victim was bashed in the middle of the afternoon.
Mike, the attacker fled Batman Avenue, leaving his victim for dead on the ground. 40-year-old Paul Morshuk was exercising here on Friday while talking to a friend on his mobile phone when he was struck from behind by a stranger. That person repeatedly kicked Paul as he lay on the ground until an innocent bystander stepped in and the attacker fled the scene.
All I know is that I felt this big thump to the head, and from that on it was just like a blackout for me.
Oh my goodness.
And then I woke up in pain everywhere pretty much.
Paul suffered a fractured skull, multiple lacerations and bruises. Tonight, police are hunting his attacker. They want to speak with any witnesses, including that kind stranger who stepped in to help Paul. Mike?
Jody, thank you. 2 teenagers are grateful to be alive after their car plunged down a cliff and crashed into the backyard of a Sydney house. The car just missed 90-year-old resident Marie, who was at home at the time.
Then all of a sudden, I saw this red thing coming down and the noise. It was unbelievable. It's the strangest thing that's ever happened to me.
The teenage driver and passenger managed to climb to safety and have been taken to hospital as a precaution. England has been ordered back into lockdown as COVID cases skyrocket, putting the health system under enormous pressure. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the virus is spreading faster than anyone predicted, and it's the only way to avoid thousands of deaths every day.
A hasty Halloween announcement in a bid to save lives and save Christmas.
Now is the time to take action because there is no alternative. And from Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home.
National Lockdown 2.0 revealed days earlier than planned after a damaging leak to British newspapers. Almost 56 million people across England again ordered to stay at home. From Thursday, all non-essential shops, restaurants, bars, hairdressers and gyms will close, but schools and universities will stay open. And for the first time, international travel is banned. The PM says the measures will be in place for a month. Last time hospitality shut for 15 weeks.
Unless we act, we could see deaths in this country running at several thousand a day.
In terms of deaths over the winter, there's the potential for this to be twice as bad or more in terms of the first wave.
Estimating a current rate of 50,000 new daily infections, with the UK officially surpassing 1 million cases.
They're doing it now to prevent everybody rioting come Christmas time.
The sort of scenes already playing out in countries like Spain, Italy and France. A continent set for a bleak winter. In London, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
Victorians are being urged to pay extra attention to their mental health as the state emerges from lockdown. A new campaign will be rolled out in 15 different languages, highlighting common symptoms.
With the world turned on its head, many of us aren't feeling like ourselves, but there are things we can do to feel better.
Medicare figures show a sharp jump in people seeking help. Victorians are eligible for 10 extra free counselling sessions per year. Melina Saras joins us now. Mel, it's been a stunning start to November.
It has, Mike. Blue skies and sunshine isn't a bad way to kick off the month, and it keeps getting better from here. Let's have a look at what we'd usually expect from November. The average daytime temperature is around 22 degrees, and we'd usually have around 3 days above 30. Our nights will start to get a little milder with an average of 11 degrees, and we can usually expect around 60 millimetres of rain throughout November, which is one of our wettest months. But we won't pick up any of that rainfall over the next couple of days, with plenty of sunshine on the way, just like today. I'll have all those details after sport, Mike.
I can feel summer coming. Thanks, Mel. The St Kilda foreshore has just become an alcohol-free zone. Up next, the police crime blitz to help locals feel safe this summer. Survivors pulled from the rubble in Turkey after a devastating earthquake. One-on-one with golf legend Greg Norman, why he's backing Donald Trump to win on Wednesday. And the unique way Melbourne neighbourhoods are reuniting after lockdown.
You're invited to the massive primetime event. Together, they should be unbeatable.
Australia's most formidable brainiacs.
Who's brave enough to take them on all at once?
It's never happened before in Australia.
For record money.
$150,000.
This is Australia's greatest quiz challenge.
Game on.
Beat the Chasers. Next up on 7.
Hi all, Courtney Ralston here to share another Aussie favourite, fried rice. But this just isn't any fried rice. I'm giving mine a healthy twist up using some cauliflower rice. So this is my Korean cauliflower fried rice. So to find this full recipe and many more recipes from me and some of your favourite Aussie chefs, you can check out Coles & Co. I'm going to start by doing some really quick pickles, or quickles if you like to call them that. I've got some radishes and some baby cucumbers, and in my pot here I've got a mixture of apple cider vinegar, honey, some water and some salt, and I'm just going to pour that mixture over the vegetables and they can quickly pickle while I make the fried rice. I'm going to start by popping some extra virgin olive oil in a hot wok. I'm popping in a sliced red onion and a couple of cups of sliced mushrooms. Give this a little toss around to soften down the mushrooms. I'm now going to add in a really interesting ingredient. This is some gochujang paste. This is available in the international aisle at Coles and it's a Korean hot pepper paste. I'm going to pop a tablespoon in with the mushrooms and onion. Give that a mix through. Now you can buy cauliflower rice already made in at Coles, but if you want to make your own, it's as simple as this. Old school box grater, some cauliflower, and you just want to run that through the thickest side of the grater. I'm now adding in a cup of kimchi plus the juice from a jar. Now go in with the cauliflower rice and just give that a real quick mix through. This doesn't take long to cook. I have some silver beet leaves that I'm popping in, but you could use anything. Kale, cabbage, carrots. I'm going to pop in a dash of sesame oil just for a little bit of smokiness. That's taken all the 5 minutes. We can take the rice off the heat now. I'm going to get another pan on the heat to fry up some crispy eggs because there's nothing better than a fried egg on top of some fried rice. All we need to do now is to plate this up. Just going to finish with some toasted sesame seeds, some seaweed that I've just cut into little matchsticks. There we have it, guys. Super quick to cook, packed with goodness and absolutely loaded with flavour. Best of all, you can feed your family for under $5 per serve. That is my Korean cauliflower fried rice. For the full recipe and loads more What's for Dinner recipes, check out coles.com.au. For me, dinner is sorted.
A crime crackdown in St Kilda is aimed at ensuring the popular beach does not become a magnet for trouble this summer. The 8-week police blitz began today, the same day the foreshore alcohol ban kicked in.
A show of force on the foreshore, the police presence set to grow over the next couple of months. The drug crime crackdown, Operation Spartan, follows calls from the community.
It is concerning for everybody. I mean, there is an issue in St Kilda. They all seem to congregate around here.
It's a bad reputation that locals want gone.
It's concerning because it's a lovely place. It's a family suburb. We need to get the people back into St Kilda and the neighbouring suburbs.
Some locals say St Kilda's drug crime increased when homeless people from other areas were moved into local hotels to protect them during the pandemic. Police won't be just targeting drugs. Beach lovers will have to look elsewhere to quench their thirst, with alcohol banned on the foreshore from today until April.
Especially in St Kilda, it's such a communal area, so it's really disappointing to hear that we're not allowed to do something that kind of brings people together.
But the council says the ban reduces antisocial behaviour.
If you want to have a drink, we've got plenty of licensed premises and local businesses that could do with your trade right now.
They're eager to avoid more scenes like this as the weather heats up tomorrow and Cup Day.
Check and see if it's crowded. We've got 11 kilometres beautiful foreshore here, and there's plenty of room if we spread out.
Plenty of police too on foot patrols. Ashley Kanowski, 7 News.
Rescuers have pulled earthquake survivors from the rubble of collapsed buildings in Turkey. The death toll has jumped to at least 39, and there are fears it could soar even higher.
In the Turkish city of Izmir, rescuers sift through piles of concrete and debris, a race to find survivors buried beneath the collapsed buildings. Found in the rubble of an apartment block, a 16-year-old girl. Frightened and distressed, the rescuer takes her hand, assuring the teen her mother is waiting outside. Finally, she's free. Her rescuers return to save her dog. Here, another delicate but desperate rush. Large slabs of concrete pulled off a man's body. He's alive, surviving 33 hours alone in the rubble. Dozens were killed in Friday's quake, more than 800 injured, but there have been more than 100 rescues. It's not clear how many others are still trapped. Turkish President Erdogan visited the devastation in the city of Izmir, where 20 buildings collapsed. Day and night, crews are working to pull survivors free while loved ones wait for news. Miley Hogan, 7 News.
A priest is fighting for life after being shot in the French city of Lyon. The 45-year-old was gunned down outside his Greek Orthodox church, sparking panic in the streets. Officers quickly locked down the area, which is on high alert in the wake of the terrorist attack in Nice. The shooting is not believed to be terror-related and the suspect is under arrest. 2 children have been killed in a gas pipe explosion in Iraq. The huge blast injured more than 50 people. Firefighters have now shut down the line to avoid further devastation. He's lived in the United States for 40 years, seen 6 presidents and played golf with most of them. Now Greg Norman is coming home. He's a proud Donald Trump supporter and believes a wave of silent voters will deliver his mate another 4 years in office.
Hello. How you doing?
It's been 4 years since Greg Norman's hunch proved right.
I knew he was going to win.
I will be president for all Americans.
His longtime friend Donald Trump stunned the world with an election victory in 2016, and he's backing him to defy the polls again.
He'd given a rudder to millions of Americans that never had a rudder before. He gave them a voice, he gave them a belief. Yeah, he's different, he's bombastic, but that's the way he is in real life. Actually, he's got a pretty good golf game.
The United States has been home for the golf legend for 4 decades. Between designing courses, he's played a hand in diplomacy too, famously giving Trump's number to Malcolm Turnbull and joining Scott Morrison for a state dinner at the White House. Fast forward to 2020, Norman finds himself reflecting on an America deeply divided.
Have you ever seen a time like this in America with so much division, really? And do you ever just think, boy, how did we get here?
I had thought about that a lot, and it is the strangest of times. It really is. It's the worst I've ever seen it. Is it social media or is it the president? Is it the Democrats or is it the Republicans? I think it's a combination of everything, to tell you the truth.
And saddened by scenes like this.
You can't do that. You can't bully people to do something. You imagine if you and I sitting there and somebody came up and just in my face because I'm talking positive about Trump. Hey, I'm allowed my opinion.
COVID.
On the president's handling of the pandemic.
Well, you name me one individual on this planet, one individual that's experienced a pandemic like this. Nobody. It was 100 years ago, right?
If the polls are right this time around, Joe Biden will be America's 46th president.
Look, I like Joe Biden personally. I really do.
But he's wary of those advising the man who'll be 78 by the time he takes office.
Do I think Joe Biden can shift to the left because of people and pressure? Absolutely, I think I do.
Come November 3rd, he'll be watching the election results from his home in Jupiter Island. But the Sunshine State may not be home for much longer. Australia's calling.
So it's time for me to go home. It really is. I miss it.
Meaning this blockbuster election may very well be the last he witnesses in the US as the shark prepares to head back to home waters. In Naples, Florida, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Local Sea Scouts hope to chalk up a record with their supersized street art. They're reuniting the community after months of lockdown by drawing a colourful caterpillar on footpaths. It stretches around 7.5 kilometres around Albert Park and Middle Park.
If you want to find out where the head and tail is, you have to walk the whole walk to try and find it.
The Sea Scouts believe their creation beats the previous record by 2 kilometres. The worst hailstorm to hit Brisbane in 6 years has left behind a massive mess. Up next, see the damage caused by the wild weather that terrified locals. Plus, the suburbs headed for $1 million property price tag. And an over-the-top Halloween stunt. The scariest part is the price tag.
He thinks his murderous secret is safe.
Colby Thorne, I'm placing you under arrest.
Someone said something.
Are you willing to make a statement against Colby?
I have chosen a side. I'm ready to talk.
Who is Witness X?
This witness is key. Was it you?
Home and Away, this week at 7 on 7.
No time for hay fever? Get back to life fast with Zyrtec. No hay fever tablet works faster.
As feelings go, winning millions is a pretty nice one. But you know what? There's something even nicer. Sharing your world with the people who make your world. That's what makes us truly rich.
Baby, then there wouldn't be a single thing we couldn't do.
So, go on the holiday. Get the car. Get the boat. But you'll find that winning really means something when you share it with the ones who mean everything. And there's just no nicer feeling than that.
Wouldn't it be nice?
All you need to launch a celebrated art career. A cheap studio, a happy career-making accident, and a Squarespace online store to sell the must-have gift of the holiday season.
So it's between that one and this one.
Make the choice easy. Get 20 cents off every litre of fuel for 12 months when you buy a new Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This year hasn't been easy. We've been hit, we've been down. But this is Australia. We will come back. The Australian government has a plan to create new jobs so employment and businesses can come back. A strong economy with tax cuts, infrastructure and a temporary JobMaker hiring credit to create more jobs. The Economic Recovery Plan. This is our comeback. Find out how it benefits you and Australia at ourcomeback.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
A garden is more than just a garden. This isn't a flower garden, it's a meadow. And this is no backyard, it's a homestead. Ryobi, for all gardens, great and small. 1+ vine trimmer kit, $2.29, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
The clean-up bill from Brisbane's worst hailstorm in 6 years could be in the billions of dollars. Dozens of Queenslanders need somewhere else to live, and thousands had power cut after huge hail slammed into their homes.
Annette Fleming hasn't had much sleep in the past 24 hours, instead spending the day sifting through rubble in her living room.
There's hail in the lounge room, hail in the bedrooms. It's literally come through the ceilings and just destroyed the entire roof.
Her home unlivable.
What do you do? Where do you go? How do you get accommodation? Like, we're not too bad. There's other houses in the street whose ceilings have completely collapsed. They're homeless.
That noise coming down, it's just deafening. The wife was panicking. The cat panicked.
From above, the damage is staggering. Rows and rows of solar panels cracked. Ken Bourne saved the cricket ball-sized hail that punched holes through his ceramic tiles.
The roof is completely disintegrated. Probably every third, fourth tile has been split, cracked.
Tarpaulins sold out as contractors and emergency services scramble for a temporary fix.
Just try and make it as safe as possible for them, so until the insurance company can step in.
Power is still out to more than 8,000 homes, some too unsafe to switch back on. The SES receiving more than 1,900 calls for help, stretching resources and volunteers. On the ground, any parked car outside, practically a write-off. 5,000 claims have already been lodged with insurers for $60 million in losses, a fraction of what's expected to come. Elliot Chipper, 7 News.
The Reserve Bank is tipped to cut interest rates to a historic low of almost zero this week. It would be a welcome relief for mortgage holders who have struggled through the pandemic.
Punters will be backing on more than the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday as the Reserve Bank decides whether to cut interest rates to a record 0.1% low.
A lot of people have had to eat into their savings over the last few months, so it will give them a little bit more confidence.
Confidence usually at its peak at this time of year.
Through spring, you'd normally see about 1,000 properties go to auction every week.
But the demand is growing in our COVID normal housing market. 429 homes went under the hammer this weekend across more than 200 suburbs, with a clearance rate of 85%.
It's a really good indication that the property market is really resilient, it's really sound, and it gives everyone confidence that Victoria's got a lot still going for them.
3 Melbourne suburbs are on track to secure median 7-digit price tags over summer: Oakley East, Pascoe Vale South and Eltham. And in the next 6 months, Balnarring, Oakley South, Summers, Viewbank, Maribyrnong, South Kingsville and Macedon are all expected to enter Melbourne's $1 million club.
It's not just your 10Ks from the CBD or your blue chip markets.
Another encouraging trend as more Melburnians return to work. The Commonwealth Bank alone has seen more than 80,000 customers repaying their loans again. A slow and steady return as we return to life as we know it. Sarah Jones, 7 News.
A homeowner in Tasmania has lit up his house with flamethrowers and disco lights for a scarily good Halloween display. Thousands of people descended on the street last night, with the neighbourhood shut down to show off the house. Now, the scariest part is the price of putting on the show, believed to be close to $100,000. Similar celebration at the Felgates Halloween.
Look, we did a little bit of COVID-safe trick-or-treating, yes. Thank you, Mike.
Returning to sport, Jackie is here, and Jack, free agency is cranking up.
It is indeed, Mike, and it's getting tense. We'll cross live for the latest. Plus, why a big-name Blues recruit has always been a Carlton fanboy at heart. A Victorian duo pressed their claims for the first test, shattering the War Twins record. The frightening prospect of another international Melbourne Cup winner. And Liverpool back on top of the table.
The whistleblower who took on corrupt cop
Roger Rogerson.
Left as a clear message. This is what happens when you don't keep your mouth shut.
Who killed Sally Ann Huckstown?
She rang me, said, I fear for my life.
All the pieces will come together on Crime Investigation Australia. Tonight on 7.
From your backyard to your home, an HSBC home loan can help. From looking to the future to cherishing the now. Whether you're expanding or refinancing, with our low 2.59% rate, together we thrive.
U-Foods are Australia's favourite food delivery service. Have fresh, healthy meals delivered to your door. Enjoy our convenient 2-minute heat and eat meals. Order now, 9 meals for $69. U-Foods, it's healthy eating made easy.
Lily's been baking awarded apple pies for years. Just don't put her in charge of marketing. It's amazing what you can't do. Task smarter.
Airtasker.
Look around. As the favourites come out, it begins. Observing with an eagle eye. Mastering the art of stashing. Brilliant Irv Grant. Cadbury favourites. Everyone gets their favourites.
Your idea of outdoor living is what Trex brings to life. Trex composite decking and railing features all the beauty of timber without all of the work. It's engineered to never rot, splinter or warp and comes with a 25-year warranty. Plus, Trex is made from 95% recycled materials. To learn how to bring the performance and durability of Trex decking to your backyard, visit au.trex.com for more inspiration and next steps.
This year hasn't been easy. We've been hit, we've been down. But this is Australia. We will come back. The Australian government has a plan to create new jobs so employment and businesses can come back. A strong economy with tax cuts, infrastructure and a temporary JobMaker hiring credit to create more jobs. The Economic Recovery Plan. This is our comeback. Find out how it benefits you and Australia at ourcomeback.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
As the world's energy needs grow, we'll need multiple sources of power, like wind power. But to do that, we'll need more copper. Like the copper proudly produced by the men and women of BHP. Because it's the 4 tonnes of copper in each and every wind turbine that makes it possible to turn wind power into electric power. Think big.
Don't worry.
Here we go.
He's got this.
You okay?
I probably should have stretched before that.
The new season of The Rookie, Monday on 7.
This sport report brought to you by Ned's Filter Form. Find your perfect match.
Hello again. St Kilda could have a fight on its hands for Adelaide free agent Brad Crouch. Let's go live to Andrew McCormack. Macca, the next 72 hours is key for the Saints' bid to land the Crows midfielder.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. The Saints have lodged paperwork for the restricted free agent in Brad Crouch, a 4-year deal worth around $600,000 to $700,000 a season. The AFL, importantly, is offering Adelaide a second-round pick, currently pick 23 in this year's draft, not pick 2 overall, which the Crows were hoping for. That means the Crows are now more likely to match the Saints' offer and force a trade. They have 72 hours to decide, so a big watch on this space. Elsewhere, the Blues rolled out their new Big Bunny recruit today, and he's got a message to those already putting the pressure on.
Pretty surreal.
Growing up in a die-hard Carlton family, finding a new home at Princess Park was a dream come true, and not just for Zach Williams.
Actually, when I called Mum, she was in the supermarket back in Narendra, and she left the groceries in the aisle and went home because she was crying too much in the supermarket.
A move to be closer to family in Albury was behind Williams' switch from orange to navy blue, and the opportunity to transform from a silky ball user off half-back to an elite midfielder.
I think Teggy sort of likes the flexibility of playing half-back or playing the midfield. So I think he's really looking forward to sort of just playing me anywhere. If I get the opportunity in there again, I know I'm not going to just walk in and play, right alongside Paddy Cripps and Welsh and all those young boys, but I know I've got to get down there and work hard.
A 6-year deal worth upwards of $800,000 a season comes with plenty of expectation.
I'm not even worried about what anyone else says. I'm just worried about getting down there and gaining the respect of the playing group and the coaching staff and just make sure I'm doing all the right things.
Williams idolised Eddie Betts as a young blue bagger. Now he gets to play alongside his childhood hero.
Hopefully, I can kick the football to him a few times next year, and hopefully I get to play down forward with him at some point as well. That'll be good fun, I reckon.
Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
German trainer Andreas Voller says Ashrun has pulled up well from yesterday's victory in the Hotham and can win at Tuesday's Melbourne Cup. Voller won the 2014 Cup with Protectionist and will be the only international trainer trackside at Flemington.
If the Halloween antics aren't enough to spook their rivals, one of the most frightening European raids is planned for our great race on Tuesday.
The advantage of the international raiders are probably their staying qualities, and that's why they're coming.
8 of the 24 Cup runners are Globetrotters, but due to COVID-19, Germany's Andreas Voller will be the only international trainer trackside.
That's why I plan to come down under, because I was really convinced that he is a nice horse and that he deserves a chance in the race.
It's been one hell of a journey. Voller travelled 16,000 kilometres to Sydney, spent 14 days in hard quarantine before driving to Melbourne for his horse to make the Cup by just a bob of the head.
Sound holding on, Ashrun comes at it, and Ashrun beats Sound.
Ashrun came from last to first. Only a win would get him in the $8 million Cup.
Yeah, I was a bit worried because that wasn't the plan, but Kieran did a great job to get him there.
It's been a rollercoaster ride of emotions, but for a chance to win another Melbourne Cup, it's worth it.
It's Germany's Melbourne Cup, Protectionist by 3 lengths to Red Canoe.
2014 was an unforgettable day, really, with the emotions, and I owe that race so much.
But Ashrun is a very different horse to Protectionist. Paying $17 to win, Ashrun will carry just 53 kilos, but will jump from widest barrier 24. No matter what the outcome, Voller is just happy to get out of hotel quarantine. Sean Sowerby, 7 News.
Young Victorian batting prodigy Will Pucovski and Marcus Harris have smashed the all-time record for the highest ever Sheffield partnership. Pucovski and Harris put the South Australians to the sword, cruising past the War Brothers' 30-year record of 464, while setting a new record of 486 runs. Harris made 239, Pucovski a dominant 255 not out, as Victoria declared at 3 for 564.
That is as good as you'd get. What about them?
The new highest ever partnership in Sheffield Shield history.
It was a pretty special day, so it's good to make the most of those sort of days. I knew that I think it was 465 was the old record, so it was good to get past that, and great to share a good partnership with Will. It'll be something good we can look back on at the end of our careers.
Aussie selectors now have no choice but to consider Pucovski and Harris for the first test against India. The Melbourne Stars women's Big Bash team has defeated the Hobart Hurricanes by 8 wickets. Meanwhile, the Renegades suffered an 8-wicket loss to the Sydney Sixers in a rain-reduced match. Georgia Wareham made 54 not out, but the Sixers chased down the 119-run total with ease.
Was able to get away, and that should be it. That is victory to the Sixers.
Elisa Healy was player of the match, scoring 60 off 27 balls. The Wallabies have suffered a record-breaking loss to the All Blacks in Sydney, with New Zealand retaining the Bledisloe Cup. The Aussies were thrashed 43 points to 5.
We were poles apart tonight, weren't we? And, the quality of their kicking game, the quality of their skill set, we just really battled to deal with.
The 4th and final Bledisloe Cup game is next Saturday in Brisbane. In the English Premier League, reigning champions Liverpool moved 3 points clear on top of the table with a 2-1 win over West Ham.
Shaqiri, what a beautiful pass! Oh, that was gorgeous.
Manchester City claimed a vital 1-0 win over Sheffield, lifting the Sky Blues to 8th, while Chelsea is up to 4th after a 3-0 victory at Burnley. And it will be another all-Mercedes front row for tonight's Grand Prix after Valtteri Bottas pipped teammate Lewis Hamilton in qualifying.
These things happen, you can't always get it perfect, but what a beautiful place we're in here in Italy, and the track is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, the speeds.
And Aussie Dan Ricciardo will start from 5th on the grid. And, Mike, some good news. We've got Grandpa Tim again. Job has had a little boy, Wolf Watson, with partner Virginia. There he is there. Absolutely gorgeous. So something for Essendon fans to get very excited
Grandpa
about.
Tim. He is a
Many times over.
Very proud grandpa, but
is.
he's going to hate us calling him Grandpa Tim.
He will. Sorry, Tim.
Congratulations. Melinda is next with the forecast, and Mel, there's sunshine on the way.
There is, Mike. The rest of the long weekend will be pretty perfect before rain arrives in the middle of the week. I'll have all those details next.
Who's brave enough to take them on all at once?
Oh, this is big.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire champion?
He's won everything.
A world record winner of Sale of the Century.
You are quizzing royalty.
One by one, they will take them on.
I was on the chase. How did you go? I beat you.
For record money.
$150,000.
Game on.
Beat the Chasers. Next up on 7.
You don't have to quit alone. You've got family to call on, mates to count on, and Nicorette's new spearmint gum, which acts fast and lasts. In fact, there are 141 fewer Aussie smokers each week. Now's the time to join the quitters.
Sometimes you just have to say no. So when you say yes, it means a lot. Kinder Chocolate comes in little bars with lots of taste, so it's perfect for saying yes to at treat time. Kinder Chocolate, a little means a lot.
Right now with NAB, enjoy a $2,000 cash bonus when you refinance your home loan. Because what is money for, if not for a home? NAB, more than money.
Right now at Apia, you can double up and save with our comprehensive insurance. Simply buy new eligible home and car insurance together before the 29th of November and save 20% off your second policy. Our dedicated specialists are ready to help. Call 13 50 50 or visit apia.com.au. Apia. Get set, go.
There is still magic wherever you are. Yes, there is magic. Stay young in your heart. It's still around us. It never was lost.
Cherish those golden to us with Ferrero Rocher. Fragrant hazelnuts, smooth velvety chocolate, wrapped in precious gold. Ferrero Rocher, say it with gold.
Bring your indoors outside with a Mimosa gazebo. It's easy to assemble, is rated 50 plus for sun protection, has waterproof polycarb roof panels, and has a rust-resistant aluminium frame. Bring inside living outside with a Mimosa Palermo gazebo, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Welcome back. We've had blue skies and sunshine for the first day of November. It is the start of a spectacular few days. The city topped out at 17 degrees with light southerly winds, but if you were outside in the sunshine, it would have felt nice and warm. Outside now, sitting on 16 degrees. Temperatures were even warmer in the northern suburbs. Yarra Glen ended up with 21, 20 degrees at Watsonia, a little cooler in Geelong and Scoresby 17 degrees. It was a cloudy start for southern Victoria, but that cleared to a mostly sunny afternoon. There was just some patchy drizzle in the far east. Everywhere else was nice and dry. Blue skies and sunshine wasn't enough to push our temperatures up. Southerly winds put a stop to them rising any further than this. They mostly ranged between 17 at Warrnambool to 25 at Bendigo. These clear skies are thanks to a high pressure system sitting near Tasmania. That high will continue east on Monday, extending a ridge and sending warm northerly winds across Victoria. So that means we have a couple of stunning days ahead. Tomorrow, temperatures will climb into the mid-20s across the state, even warmer in the north. And on Tuesday, it'll be very warm. Some parts of the state will even climb into the mid-30s. Wednesday will start warm, but northerly winds shift southerly during the day, and that is also when our next bout of wet weather is due to arrive, with showers in the southwest extending across the state and becoming scattered as they go. Around the nation tomorrow, mostly sunny in Brisbane, 28 degrees, partly cloudy in Sydney, 22, mostly sunny, 30 in Adelaide tomorrow, and a shower or two and a possible storm in Perth. But in Victoria, we'll have patchy morning fog and low cloud, then a mostly sunny day across the state. Light northerly winds will push temperatures up into the mid to high 20s. It'll be a little milder along the coast with some afternoon sea breezes. Closer in, after some early morning fog and low cloud, it'll be a pretty perfect day with sunshine and light winds. 27 degrees in Watsonia and Essendon as well, 25 at Frankston. Early fog in the city, then blue skies and sunshine, dropping to 9 overnight before a top of 25 degrees. Tuesday is sunny and up to 29, 24 on Wednesday, and showers start developing. Then we have some milder temperatures again, 15 on Thursday with a possible shower, partly cloudy, 18 on Friday, 15 with a shower or two on Saturday, and partly cloudy, 19 on Sunday. But fog, then sunshine, 25, Mike.
Yes, we've got the day off. Thanks, Mel. And that's 7 News. We'll have updates later. For now, from the 7 News team, have a great night.